Hey, super legends, superstars, and superheroes. My name's Dr. Dre, but yes, without the doctor. You're tuned into Hot Hire, which is the #1 place. That's right, I said #1 place if you're looking to get into your ideal job in the shortest time possible. So today, pumped, double pump. This next guest we've been connected on Facebook for quite a while. I've seen all of her content, love what she puts out. She's positive vibe, energy. She's a speaker, she's an author, and she's won an international coaching award this year. So I just want to say a massive, huge welcome to Alicia Ann Wade. How are you?
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for inviting me here today to be part of your audience, and for people tuning in, thank you for taking the time to be here today. It's a truly special moment to be here right now. Thank you.
I appreciate you coming up. So before we get into the show, if you are looking for any coaching or any help to get into your next position, that's what me and my team do. So we help everyone. However, my sweet spot is helping sales professionals, because that's my background in recruitment and sales. So we help you to communicate your value, articulate your skills, your knowledge, your experience, and your achievements. So when you walk into that interview, you're confident, you're certain, and you just hit it on. All right, so can you tell us a little bit about yourself and what you've been up to and what you do?
Oh, okay. Do you have a book ready so you can start taking notes and
yes,
be here for a lifetime?
Yes, I've got one right here. So.
Totally prepared. Love it. Love it. Excellent. Okay, so just to give you a bit of a snapshot on what I do, I've been on a really ultimate journey. So given where I am now, being International Life Coach of the Year, it wasn't always, bells and whistles and the shiny, fantastic things that happened. There is a bit of a backstory with me. About 5 years ago, I had a mental breakdown. I was in a very high paying job. I was in operations in early childhood education and care. And I was an operations manager, and I was married at the time. And I was exposed to domestic violence, didn't know what that was. And you could say that drugs, bikie gangs, Asian gangs, living in Cabramatta west of Sydney, stealing. It was just a very negative environment that I had chosen to be in. And I realized that this was no longer a lifestyle that I wanted to live. And I knew that there was something more out there. And in my operations role, I was also getting micromanaged. And that was due to having a lack of boundaries and a lack of standards and a lack of values and expectations in my life. I had been bullied my whole entire life. I was if you want to go back to primary school, I was the little fat kid that everybody teased. I was the pillow blob when we used to play role plays, and the kids would be doctors, nurses, and I was the pillow blob. So you could only imagine how I felt inside. I was like dying inside, crying at lunchtime, just feeling quite alone. And this happened during high school as well, just trying to fit in. And it was just a real struggle and a real battle for me to be who I needed to be. Needless to say, there was many successes, and there was also lots of failures as well. High school, I failed high school tremendously. I fell asleep in my high school exam, English. A lot of you 12s may resonate with this. I hated English. I couldn't speak it, couldn't write it. People didn't understand me. And I was just like, what is wrong with me? And yeah, I got 30% in my high school certificate. And I was like, yeah, I remember the day that I got that. And I was like, yes, I'm finally out of school. A year off, and I went in to do my diploma in it was called Community Services, Children's Services. And I found my spark in life. And I actually got one of the high achievement awards for innovation in the workplace. So going from failing school to finding a deep passion for something was remarkable. And I led on to get a Bachelor of Teaching, birth to 5 years. However, I did fail uni as well. I gave myself an automatic fail because I couldn't write English. And I'm like, what is going on with me? So I actually had to relearn how to read, write, and just communicate effectively so I could do essays, because essays are so hard in uni. And I ended up going online. So in classroom was not for me. I'm not an in classroom sort of person. If you saw my report cards, Alicia is the most distracted person, or really shy, or this and that. And I just didn't like it. And so I finally got my Bachelor of Teaching birth to 5 years after learning how to write again. And as you said, I am an author. So writing my first book was a huge accomplishment, because thank you. Realizing that, you know, even though you may be failing at something or something is really hard, maybe the strategy just isn't right. So just find a strategy that works for you. I realized that in classroom and being in front of a teacher just wasn't for me. And so speed it up to about 2015 is when I had my mental breakdown. I realized that I had reached all the goals and aspirations that I wanted. I had the house, I had the car, I had the husband. And then I realized, was I actually fulfilled? No, because I was going for less than my worth and who I was. And due to not having those boundaries and standards in place, I realized I needed to go on a bit of a journey, and that's where I discovered The Happiness Project by Gretchen Rubin. Amazing book. And in Kiki K, they have a happiness journal, and I decided that's it. I'm going to dedicate 1 year of doing 3 things out of my comfort zone and take a risk in my life. So it was really hard, because me, I like to stay at home. I love to be a homebody. I realized, all right, I'll go do yoga. I'll go do Pilates. I'll do that Cert 4 in fitness that I said I wanted to do when I was 19 years old, and did that. I wanted to do a diploma of business, and I ended up doing that as well. And I just kept realizing how much potential I actually had, rather than focusing on all of the failures that I had in life. Because when I failed my marriage, when my marriage failed, it was huge. I had to go through court cases with my ex-father-in-law, because we had invested in a house together. I had to go through court cases with my ex-husband to finalize, you know, child court orders and stuff. So that went on for quite some time while I was going on this happiness journey. I just had to find something that was going to be happy for me, that little outlet. Mind you, we did move interstate from New South Wales to Queensland. So a lot of people that do know me, I live with my mum, my dad, my grandmother, a flatmate, my daughter, 2 dogs, 2 cats, and we just got 3 chickens as well. So we live in a bit of a village. And as I say, it takes a village to raise a child, and family is such a strong value. And I want to bring that to other people's lives. And so, yeah, I've stumbled upon life coaching and have been studying through the Coaching Institute, and I have gained my master's in coaching. So the last 2.5 years I've been heavily studying, and that's what's led me to this point, getting the International Life Coach of the Year. I have been making a difference. Thank you. I have been striving to make a difference in other people's lives, showing high school students through to women who have been subjected to domestic violence, addictions, helping people in this town who have been unemployed get employment as well. Just helping people believe in themselves again, knowing that they're worth and knowing that they are enough. And I didn't realize, after I made a difference in one person's life, I knew there was something there. And when I started to see people's lives start to change one after the other, I was just like, oh my gosh, I'm onto something here. I can help so many people. And it's just the ripple effects that you see. And then you start seeing families come together. You start to see love. You start to see adventure. You start to see more positive posts on their Facebook, because they've just been watching what I've been doing. And that's merely because I try to do things that make me happy. So yeah, that's me in a nutshell.
Okay. Hey, Super Legends, so sorry to interrupt the show. If you do like what you're seeing, please don't forget to like, comment and share. Thank you. I've got so many other questions, but we're going to have to go into that another time.
Sure thing.
Yeah, especially like the thing about learning to read and write. Oh man, I've got so many questions about that. And just like the process as well. Have you got any tips that you can share with the audience that you feel might be helpful?
In terms of gaining job and employment, is that correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. So a great example is a lady that I met not too long ago. She had low self-esteem, low self-worth. She'd been unemployed for 15 years. She's a single mother, been on Centrelink for 15 years. And she was just lost. She's like, Alicia, I don't know what to do. I've been unemployed and I really, really want to get employment. And so I just started discussing some of the things and attributes that she had. I just posed some questions. And what we realized, like, she has a special needs child. And what we realized is that she had the language and the understanding of the NDIS. And I'm like, you realize you've got a special talent here. Not everybody knows about NDIS and the funding that is a part of all of that. And what she started to realize was it gave her a boost of confidence. I said, use this. This is going to be your magic power. And what I tend to say to people is you have a gift within you. You just need someone to bring that gift out of you. And once you know that gift will come across in your interviews really strongly, because you'll be confident and you will know exactly who you are. You'll come into it with such reassurance and that confidence to go in. And it doesn't have to be anything huge. It could be something like you're good at the computer or good at social media or some sort of program. Just know those things that you've learned through school or in high school or your life experiences that can help you when you're gaining employment.
Totally agree. All right. So do you have any more, or yeah?
That's do I have any more stories?
Or was that the main one?
That's the main one. I couldn't believe it. And when I got that message, when she asked me to do her resume for her and help her through that, because we had an interview together. So I got all of the things out of her that she could articulate. So I got her to write things like she does housework. And I said, so you're good at cleaning and keeping things hygienic? And she's like, yeah. And it was just the way to articulate that. And now this is coming from a person who didn't know English and now is helping people articulate things in the right way. And I was like, wow, cool. I helped her with a resume. I gave it to her. She went on she submitted so many resumes. I think it was like over 20 to 30 resumes. She was applying through Seek she had just gained her Cert 3 in support work as well, which was an achievement for her in its own as well. And then what she said, she called me up on Monday and she goes, Alicia, I've got an interview. And I go, what do you mean? You've got an interview? No way. And I'm like, yes. I'm like, this works. And then she called me up again, like, I think it was like 2 hours later. She's like, I've got a second interview. I'm like, well, go in and smash it. Just keep your head in the game. Know who you are. Know what you're capable of. And just go in there and shine, because you are really special. Now, if you were to look at her, she's got missing teeth. She's quite overweight. She went in the interview on Monday. By Wednesday, she had a contract and she was on Centrelink. She went to getting a paying contract at $37 an hour. Now, going from Centrelink to $37 an hour as a single mum is huge.
Yeah,
so
massive.
It's huge. And I just went, holy moly. I was thinking, she was getting more than me as a centre manager of a childcare centre and an operations manager. And I was just like, you know what? You only limit yourself to the things that you tell yourself. So if you believe that you can do it, you can do it. And that story there, I couldn't believe it. I had to celebrate her, and I gave her a gift as well. And I was just so proud of where she had come from to where she is now. And now she's got shifts coming out of her ears. She's like, oh my gosh, I've got to work again, but I love my work. And just watching her write how much she loves work is just beautiful as well. Such great work ethics from 15 years of not working to now working full time. It's just amazing.
I love that story, and just like all the possibilities as well. All right, what do you have going on at the moment? Any projects, any programs, anything exciting?
Ooh, So exciting, so exciting. So I'm currently facilitating a national project with United Workers Union, Big Steps. It's about professional wages for early childhood educators. I have just finished my first cohort of educators. I had 20 educators go through one of my programs on emotional intelligence in the workplace. And the transformations in those sessions were phenomenal. I have seen about a handful of those educators who had anxiety, suffered from depression, coming into the sessions after I taught them some techniques and the resources that I had and some models that I've used within the coaching world. And they said, Alicia, my anxiety has subsided. I'm not feeling as depressed. I just go do this thing that you taught me for 5 to 10 minutes and I just feel so much better. They go, I pay my psychologist stuff and you've given me more stuff than I've seen my psychologist for 5 years. And I went, really? I go, and they're like, yes, Alicia. And now I've got a new group of directors coming through and we're into the 3rd week this week. And just seeing the directors, just because I've been an educator and because I've been a director, I've used different stories within those groups, just seeing them grow and overcome the mental health issues that are in the workplace, because educators, they're frontline workers, they're essential workers, and their work there's a lot of burnout in that industry. I've burnt out twice from the industry, and the amount of paperwork and checklists and making sure observations are done. And then the Department of Education is on your tail to make sure that you're compliant, and you've got audits coming out of your ears. It's ridiculous. And just helping these guys through it is just amazing. And then I do have a mastermind to help small businesses and entrepreneurs with business planning and business goal setting, because one of my strong points is goal setting. So I actually presented with the Educational Leader of Australia 2 years ago about goal setting in early childhood education. And what I've brought into the entrepreneur space, so what I've brought into the entrepreneur space is what I've learned with our quality improvement plan. And there's gold nuggets in there. Educators are the best manifestors of all time. That's all I have to say. They're great at manifesting. And I didn't even know it was a thing till I came into the coaching world. And I'm like, oh, we used to just call them inspiration walls. But no, we were really activating our regulatory activating system to focus on what we wanted to achieve in the workplaces. And the stuff that's created, it's out of this world what educators provide. So what I do now, because I've achieved a lot of goals and helped transform childcare centres physically and doing landscaping and stuff, I do know how to landscape too. Never knew I could do that. And so I just help people with creating these visions and bringing those visions into fruition. So then that way they enjoy the journey rather than getting to the destination. It's all about the journey and seeing what they actually learn on what they're actually capable of. And it's friggin' amazing when you see people learn more parts of them that they didn't know before and realize that they really did have the potential within them. And then you see a sense of empowerment and confidence come up. So yeah, that's a bit of what I've got going on at the moment.
And you've got a lot. I love that. All right. So if people wanted to get hold of you for, like your services or coaching, what's the best way for them to do that?
Okay, so I do have a LinkedIn profile, so you can access me on LinkedIn on Alicia Wade. I do have Instagram, which is called Coach2AW. I do have Facebook, which you can catch me on Alicia Ann Wade, or Keeping It Real, AAW. So, I do have Hervey Bay coaching, or you can also get me on my website, www.hbgratitude.com.au. I'm a big believer on gratitude is the best attitude. It's helped me through a lot. And I do have a journal that is for sale that I have sold internationally.
Today, I was looking on your Facebook page like today with your new the black journal.
Oh, yes. So they were released at the beginning of the year, but now I've done a box set because I realize it's Christmas coming up. I was like, how can I make this really, really beautiful for people that want to give this gift to people? Because I've had messages from people. I do have another story here. Sorry, I'm going to go into another story here. I've had private messages from people who have actually purchased my gratitude journal and told me that it's actually helped them stop themselves from committing suicide and dying from suicide. And I just thought, oh my gosh, I just made this journal. And the first quote in there is, your past does not define your future. And you can't have a negative mindset and a positive negative and positive at the same time. It's just neurologically can't do it. So I've spread this far and wide. It's hit about 6 countries, and I just want to pass this on to others about cultivating gratitude and how it actually changes your mindset. Even in your deepest, darkest thoughts, grab it out and just start writing things that you're grateful for and watch the shift in your mind change. It's really powerful. And that journal was made on Christmas Day in 2018. It's had 3 upgrades. It started as a spiral bound, then soft cover, because I was just testing and measuring it. And now it's hard cover. And there is something, stay tuned. There is something in place. I can't tell you yet, so stay tuned. But yeah, there is a 4th edition that will be coming out, but 3rd edition is limited stock. So if you want to get your hands on that, please just DM me. I'm happy to make arrangements to get that out to the people that want to get the last lot of this lot.
All right. That's awesome. Okay, it's about that time. It's about that time. You know what time it is. Yeah.
Full time.
It's dad joke time. Dad joke time. Right. So, do you have a dad joke for us to finish on?
I do. And I've told this joke so many times. Why did the chicken cross the road?
What? I don't know. Why did the chicken cross the road?
To see its flatmate.
Oh. I did not see that coming. That was awesome. All right, Alicia, I just want to say a massive thank you, so much value. Oh, I've got so many questions for another time. So really appreciate you, and I can't wait to catch up as well. So.
I know. It'll be soon. And I'm sure I'll talk your ear off then, and you can ask many questions and know what happens in this little brain of mine.
So yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.